What if I told you there's an animated movie hitting Netflix this week starring Channing Tatum, Jason Mantzoukas, Judy, Greer, and even Simon Pegg? Would you want to watch it? Well, if you said yes, you might want to rethink that. I'll tell you why. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and today we're diving right into the Netflix exclusive animated film America the Motion Picture, which is conveniently being released ahead of the July 4th weekend here in the United States. But, whew. It's directed by Matt Thompson, who is the executive producer on Archer, and it's starring Channing Tatum as George Washington, Simon Pegg as King James, and even Judy Greer as Martha Dandridge. A huge thank you to Netflix for providing me the chance to see this early for review, guys, and yeah, I'm gonna tell you a lot more about the film, including what it's about in this little synopsis. That's starting right now. A chainsaw-wielding George Washington teams with beer-loving bro Sam Adams to take down the Brits in a tongue-in-cheek riff on the American Revolution. Now, after hearing that, guys, I was sold. I wanted to get into this movie, and I thought I'm in for something that's gonna be crazy, zany, and really funny. But, well, we'll talk about it. Now, guys, before I get into what works and what really didn't work in America the Motion Picture, if it is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where we break down movies and TV shows like this all the time, so you're not going to want to miss out. Go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and help us get to 5,000 subscribers. Guys, I don't know why I did that, but we are so close to that next milestone. And if you haven't, go ahead and tap that bell, hit the thumbs up button, and let me know down below in the comments if you've seen this movie. What did you think of it? And if you haven't, are you going to watch it this weekend? Alrighty, y'all, so you know what? Let's dive right into America the Motion Picture, and it's surprisingly produced by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. So again, all the reason to see it, a stacked cast, a capable director for all intents and purposes. Okay, let's get into the positives. I'm not going to jump to the negatives just yet. There are some real standouts in this already stacked cast. I mean, from the names I read you, there are even more actors and actresses in this film. I would say there were two, though, that stood out to me. And the first is Andy Samberg as Benedict Arnold. I really enjoyed his voice acting here. You wouldn't even know it was him if I didn't tell you, or if you didn't look it up on IMDb, because, well, I didn't know it was him either. It was insane to see how he really bought into the role and he committed to how crazy this character is, because this ain't the Benedict Arnold you know from your history books. I also thought Simon Pegg as King James was really funny in the beginning of the movie. The versatility that he can provide as a voice actor is unreal, and especially in this movie where King James, who is literally levitating or floating using a certain device to not have to ever walk in this film, it's so good. And I think that especially in that first act, you can just tell Simon Pegg, Andy Samberg, they understood the assignment, and I really enjoyed what they were bringing to the table. And speaking of that first act, guys, the first 20 minutes of this movie were so promising. Basically everything before the title card was really good. There was some self-aware humor, some over-the-top action, including a lot of gore. Guys, it was insane, and it shocked me because I didn't expect action from this film at all, even though, well, chainsaw-wielding George Washington, I should have known better. And it even has hints of Archer, which made sense considering director Matt Thompson's ties to that series, and basically feels like something you'd watch on Adult Swim. And I will say that there were some clever bits of humor found throughout the film, because there are some self-aware jokes that you see in the first, 20 minutes or so that carry on throughout the rest of the movie. And of course, it's an animated movie, so we gotta talk about the animation style, which isn't awful. There's this hint of cell shading and also some animation art style that you would find in Archer, so there's this cool blend of both, and I did like that it looked clean, especially in this grandiose action scene, especially at the end, guys. I don't know how they pulled it off, but it reminded me of like Avengers Endgame stuck inside of this film. But it looked really good, it looked smooth, and I enjoyed exactly how they were able to just craft this entire vision together, because boy, it's quite the vision. So there's nothing wrong in the animation department, and I do think that the first act was pretty funny, but guys, that's about all the good I can say about America the Motion Picture. We gotta talk about these negatives because gosh, where do I begin? I guess we can start with the writing and all of the humor, which was totally unfunny and shallow after the first act. This is supposed to be an animated comedy movie, and it did not make me laugh more than, well, there were these long stretches of time where I just did not find myself even smirking with this movie. There were so many moments where scenes just lingered, and the movie really does lean into this bro humor, so you have to really be a fan of just stupid jokes involving sex and beer, and to me, that's not my style of humor. That doesn't really get me. I mean, there are moments in this film that I laughed probably because of just the sheer insanity of the movie, but there wasn't genuine moments of humor and laughter on my end. And after a while, I just couldn't excuse the fact that this movie has zero substance to it. Even though the self-aware writing was welcome, there are just a lot of scenes where it totally backfires. I mean, I don't want to hear characters having conversations with one another and then they use the word hashtag, like they literally say hashtag blessed in this movie. Even though, yes, we are blessed, I still think that it doesn't work, especially in the context of the film. This is supposed to be a movie that really takes place, of course, during the American Revolution, and I get that not all of it's accurate, but come on, dude, you can't have so many modern elements just break any sort of immersiveness that, well, I had with the film, and that's what happens after that first act. And the script itself was totally dry once we got to the midway point, and everything after that was pretty bad, y'all. I really just struggled to find any sort of attachment with this film. And when it comes to the story, well, it's also pretty lacking. The film is definitely taking on American history in a different way. It's retelling the events of the American Revolution and everything thereafter, and I came to expect that. But it just wasn't humorous or entertaining, guys. They try to hit a lot of home runs here, but end up striking out more often than not. And when the movie does try to have a central plot with Benedict Arnold and King James, I don't know, it just wasn't interesting. Nothing about this film is compelling, guys, and it's a bit worrisome that the screenwriter here is one of the writers for Shang-Chi, and yep, that's about all I'll say about that one. But hey, we're talking about America the Motion Picture, so let's get back on track. The film itself is also just longer than it needed to be. An hour and 40 minutes is not a long runtime, guys, but this movie makes it feel like an eternity. I had to struggle to keep my eyes open at times just because there's absolutely nothing going on that kept me focused. There was just no staying power with any of the jokes, to be honest. The running gags just didn't work for me, and then there are these weird sex jokes with George Washington and his wife that doesn't work. I don't know, guys. It's really just a lot of misses in this movie. And then when it comes to the talent, guys, I mean, everyone in this cast was wasted by the end. For goodness sakes, you have Channing Tatum, who we know is funny as George Washington, Jason Mantzoukas, who did a great job in Invincible this year, he's playing Sam Adams, and then Judy Greer. Guys, you have all of these amazing names, and you just couldn't make any of them work. For a stacked cast like this, guys, it's a shame that the director couldn't utilize them in a way to make this at least a halfway decent film ahead of the 4th of July weekend. So overall, you guys, America the Motion Picture is one movie that I can tell you is not one you should rush to see on Netflix. I can't recommend this movie. I wanted something just so dumb and also so funny, but it was just dumb and not funny at all. It has the talent necessary to make for a really good Netflix movie, and honestly the animation is pretty to look at, but there is nothing here in terms of substance to keep me hanging around for an hour and 40 minutes and feel like my time wasn't wasted. And I get that they were adding in action sequences to try to break up some of those jokes, and no, that didn't work either. So America the Motion Picture, if I had to rate it out of 5 stars, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let you try to guess what I would rate it out of 5 stars, and I'll tell you if you're right or not. But guys, there you have it. That's my real review of the Netflix movie America the Motion Picture. It drops on Netflix this Wednesday, but I need to know what you have to say about it, so go ahead and get loud down below in the comments. And if you haven't already, guys, go ahead and hit the big red button, subscribe to the channel, and tap on that bell, y'all, and hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy reviews just like this. I promise, hopefully this week as we go on, I'll be giving you guys some more positive reviews because I hate being negative. It's just, I gotta be honest with y'all. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys at the next screening.